questions for now. I will call on Dr. Philip Idaewor, the APC chairman UK, to please ask his question now. Idaewor,
Yes.
you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. Papa Alhaji Yakasai, it's a real pleasure to meet you again after several years. The last time I met you in Benin was 1999. And I'm happy that you mentioned Chief Enahoro. At that time, I was still back in Nigeria, and I was working as a member of his movement for national reformation. Yes. And as you know, what we have campaigned, worked so hard for, was for the restructuring of Nigeria. I think that the issues that has to do with what Nigeria should look like, as you pointed to, I think they should be very clear to every one of us. One, the present structure is not working. It's not working because power is exceedingly concentrated at the center. Every part of Nigeria has the potential to become wealthy, self-sufficient, and contributing to the overall good of that great country. Nigeria has the responsibility to become a global star and a country of reference for all Black people. I think that your generation, sir, represents for Nigeria the hope for the future, because your generation knew where we are coming from. Thank God for keeping you alive. Thank God that many people are meeting you and interacting with you for the first time today. But I know I have sat down with you and I have listened to you speak. I know that you mean well for Nigeria. I know that a lot of persons from your generation mean well for Nigeria. Yes, there is a possibility of fear, what could happen. But what you own Nigeria, and indeed the Black race, is to help the younger generation, who have, some of whom have been fed with lies and the poison of fear planted in their minds, is to help them understand that at the beginning, Nigeria was not necessarily set up to fail. It was not set up to self-destruct. It was not set up to have citizens in any part of the country, north, east, west, south, to be suspicious of each other. This is what I learned listening to so many members of your generation with whom I have been fortunate to interact with. So I think that the issue you have raised are germane to the discussions we are having today. There is clearly a way out of our present quagmire. For instance, the Movement for National Reformation at some point put forward an 8 regional federation for Nigeria, and put forward and requested that the country should be so devolved that certain functions alone were left to the center, and that each of these 8 regions should have enough powers to have their own parliament and be able to function in such a way that they can look after their own affairs and their own citizens. And I don't think that there is any part of Nigeria that cannot survive if well governed and if given the incentive to do so. So, sir, I am not going to speak more than what I have said, other than to say that your generation, represented by you here today, own my generation, you own Nigeria, the duty of care to help us understand that Nigeria was set up to succeed, not just for Nigerians, but for the Black race. And I'm appealing to you to think of what I'm saying. Yes. The time I met you in person, I left with very, very high regard. And I recall that at some point I will mention your name in some of my discussions. Yes. All right. So this is what I feel. I think that it should not be the case that we hear things that further confuse us or further cause us to panic. What we should be hearing from you now and your generation should be things that help us to ask the real question. Why is Nigeria the way she is? Why is it that people are afraid that if the present structure is dismantled, Nigeria will crumble. Why is it impossible for us to look at a different way of doing things? I belong in the APC. My party promised restructuring of Nigeria. Our party has worked. They set up a committee headed by Governor El-Rufai, who presented a brilliant document for a way forward. That document has been neglected and tossed aside. Why is that the case? Why? Look, our generation of Nigerians wants to see Nigeria prosper. We want to see Nigeria grow. We want to see Nigeria become a star for all Black people. That is what we have been striving and working for. So, sir, I beg you, I know that you are in Ramadan season, so I will not detain you further. Thank you very much, sir, for listening to me. And it's a real pleasure to meet you again today after so many years.
Let's allow the Alhaji to respond, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah?
So, Alhaji, you can go ahead and respond, please. Thank
Yes. I'm not afraid of anything. I didn't say I'm afraid of restructuring. All I'm saying is that I want to know from the sponsors of this idea, what will it look like for Nigeria? I don't see anything why I should be afraid of any idea. I've never been afraid of ideas. If I find ideas do not tally with mine, I propose mine. That's my the issue is if somebody thinks that something is wrong, is not working, it is not for him to articulate a substitute for that thing which is working, which is not working. Nigeria has been operating this federation from more than 60 years now. That's even before we gained our independence. Now, if we can operate something for 60 years and that thing is not working, is it not fair to tell the people that this is why we feel that the thing is not working? I will tell you something, probably you've never heard of it. Why my late friend Tanko did not succeed in selling his 8-point agenda was when he was asking for 8 republics. He called them republics, not regions, not states. Then each republic will have its own civil service. Each republic will have its own military establishment, police, judiciary, and other things. We saw that as a maneuver. I'm sorry to tell you that we saw that as a maneuver by some elements among our minority ethnic groups to turn the situation to favor them. In my opinion, even if they want to turn the situation to favor them, they have the duty to come out and tell the people what the other people that will be affected will benefit from their own program. Up till now, people are saying restructuring is good, but they never told anybody what is the benefit of restructuring.
Okay, sir.
They never tell anybody. I heard 1 or 2 people who are saying that we should go back to 1963 Constitution. I swear by God that I will support going back to 1963 Constitution. But I want, please, people, because don't let us take people for granted that under the present arrangement, the North will have an advantage in terms of representation in the National Assembly, in terms of, it's not for that. We are talking about future, the future of our children, grandchildren, and so on, and generation, and the country. We belong to the country. We cannot take Kanu to Sudan. Nobody can take Anambra to to South Africa. They will all be here till the world no longer exists. So we have a stake in the future of the country. And therefore, we should be told in black and white what are those who are having alternative arrangement have in mind. What are they? Why do we have a hidden agenda? This is my reaction.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And again, you've hit the nail. You said you are not afraid, and by saying you mean that the region, the North, is not afraid of restructuring.
I'm not representing the North.
No, he's not represented. He said me.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. You. Okay, I'll put it that way. My bad. I'll withdraw that statement. So now, you said you're not afraid of the North. Sorry, you are not afraid of restructuring.
I'm not afraid of.
Exactly. So
I say I want to be.
Exactly.
I say I'm by nature. You don't know me. By nature, I'm not a timid person. What created me.
Now,
when we were confronting MPC, they had all the native authority police, the emirs, the British power, and so on. But I confronted them. In 1953, I led a protest of young people in Kano. We went to the airport to protest to the MPC delegation going to land with 8-point plan, which was to turn Nigeria into a confederation. We opposed it. I was arrested for leading that protest, 18 of us. Out of that 18, 15 of us were convicted. We were serving the towns when we appealed, and our appeal was allowed. We were rearrested, reconvicted, and I served 3 months for leading that protest. A timid person, as at that time, will not lead such a protest.